You will need 2 bowls to make the ferment. In one, sift 300 grams of flour. Place the other bowl on a scale. If you put the bowl on the scale when it is turned off, when you turn the scale on, it will not count the weight of the bowl, but only what is put in the bowl. Turn the scale off before adding each ingredient so you can weigh everything accurately. First, add 40 grams of sugar. Next, put 10 grams of yeast and put 260 grams of milk. Mix it all together with a spatula. Now add in the 300 grams of sifted flour. If the dough is too dry, add a bit of milk. As you can see, the dough is a lot softer and can move around at will because of the extra milk. Cover the bowl with plastic food wrap and leave it overnight for about 12 to 16 hours. Also cover the bowl with a kitchen towel. If you are making Zopf during warm weather, leave your bowl of ferment on your kitchen counter. If the weather is cold, ovens are a warm place to keep the bowl. Keep the oven light on and make sure not to turn on your oven. After 12 to 16 hours have passed, put the ferment into the mixer. Add the 120 grams of butter. For best results, butter should be at room temperature and cut into slices. It works well to mix the butter with the ferment for a few seconds. Pour half of the 700 grams of flour and 20 grams of salt into the mixer. For the milk, I squirt it out of a squeeze bottle with cap dispenser little by little. It might seem tedious, but it results in a wonderful dough consistency. Add the rest of the flour at intervals. Now it's time to slap the dough. You can sprinkle the counter with flour. I do not know the science behind dough slapping, but I do know that it makes a good dough that's not sticky. When the dough has been slapped, tuck it into a ball shape and place it in the bowl. Cover the bowl with food wrap and a towel and put it into an oven that's off to rest and rise. After 40 minutes, punch the dough to remove all the carbon dioxide from it. Then cover it again and return it to the oven to rise for 1 more hour. Take the dough out of the bowl and weigh it. Divide the dough into 2 roughly equal parts. You should now have 4 chunks of dough. Poke the dough down with your fingers and bring the other half of the dough down on it. The reason we stretch the dough slowly is that so it has time to rest and remains thick even though it's being stretched. Repeat the stretch each time, making it slightly longer. Continue to stretch out the dough and leaving it to sit. Always make Always make sure that the middle is thicker than the ends. Do not stretch the dough too long. It is better to have a shorter but thicker piece than a longer but thinner piece. On your left arm, make sure it's going diagonally up that way. It's easier when you do it that way. And then you get your other side and you make a cross. There you have a nice cross, the bottom on the left. Okay, so now you're going to hold this top one and you're going to hold this and you're going to put this top one right over here and this one right there. And then you're going to take this bottom one and you're going to make sure that this one goes on the top. Then you're going to take this bottom one here. You're going to put this here and make sure this bottom one goes on the top. Same thing here. This goes on the top. This comes here. This has to be on the top. And here. This has to go on the top. And this one will be on the top. Now when you're done and out of room, we tuck it to the bottom. And there's our Zopf. Making each Zopf, put it in a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. After it has risen for 2 or more hours, melt some butter and gently brush each Zopf with butter until it is covered. It is important not to move the Zopf from where it has risen because it is extremely delicate and will deflate if handled. As you can see, the Zopf has risen to an enormous height. Bake the Zopf at 370 degrees Fahrenheit until it is a dark golden brown. The darker and more golden brown that it is, the better it will turn out when it's done. Let it sit for about 10 minutes or more before digging in. Enjoy!